Good afternoon, Dr. Mary. This is my oral presentation. I'll start with my field-based project. I interviewed one of the administrators at district office by the name of Jerry Doss. He is the Public Relations and External Partnerships Director for our district, and he works directly with our Student Board of Education. So some time ago, they were doing some student improvements in our district, and so in order to have input from all the students in all three schools in our district, they decided to collect some data from the kids. And to collect this data, what they decided to do was a survey. They used Scantrons, and they decided that since every student took English, then that would be the best way to get every student's opinion, to distribute the Scantron and the survey to their English teacher. So they did that, and once they got all the documents back, they sent all the information through a Scantron reader, and they were able to collect numerical data for exactly what they wanted to do in remodeling the student cafeterias. So that's the way that they were able to achieve their goal of finding out what exactly the students wanted to see in the cafeteria. For instance, they asked them questions on the type of tables that they wanted, the type of chairs they wanted, if they wanted a wall that had inspirational quotes on it, the color of the cafeteria, the different type of food offerings they wanted to see, things of that nature. And they were quite successful in collecting that data. The other thing that I believe you wanted in our oral presentation was the topic for our research. So the research topic that I chose was ways that new teachers can be successful, to find out ways that they can be successful in their first year of teaching, novice teachers, first year teachers, whether they came straight from school or from a different profession, ways that they could be successful in the classroom during, again, their first year teaching. And a lot of what I found was pretty consistent across the board, across all the articles that I had read. So my focal points were creating a sense of community, having a good mentorship program, as well as teacher knowledge and understanding how students learn, understanding the new curriculum that they're required to teach. That's what I focused on in my research. And what I found was that in the people that I surveyed, which were from my school random sample, there were a few new teachers, approximately 13, and then the rest were the veteran teachers, 191. And so the different ethnic groups that were represented were Latinos, African Americans, Caucasians, Indian American, Asian American, and African American. Both male and female, range from early 20s to the late 50s. And this was all surrounded in the south suburbs of Chicago. The materials that were required were pen and pencil, a hand recorder, a computer, an email account, the new teacher survey, and the academic journals. The design type for this particular research was qualitative, because the reason I chose that was because it gave a holistic answer. It's not really a lot of numerical things that I could gain from doing quantitative, which is why I chose qualitative. So then the steps in carrying out this study would be to get volunteers to participate in the research, and I will do that by sending out an email to invite anyone to participate to help out in finding out how we can help first year teachers be successful in the classroom and the school community. And the new teachers I will contact face to face, because there are few in number, just to really explain to them what I was aiming to do. And then for everyone that responded, they would receive the survey document. And because a lot of teachers don't check their email, I would also put the document in their mailboxes, because those are checked more often, or at least on payday. So then that would include the instructions and the deadlines for participating in the research. So then once all the research or the deadline for the research was complete, then in order to analyze the data, I would identify the specific topics. Then I would break those topics down into sections or clusters, and then place those clusters into categories and transform those categories into patterns, and then explain exactly what those patterns mean. So interpret the different patterns that are gained from the results of my data. And to keep this information confidential, I would not use the actual name. I would change the name, like they said, to protect the identity of the innocent, and so that way no one would be apprehensive about sharing, because their real names wouldn't be used in the first place. I would keep the data locked up in a file cabinet and stored away, and after a certain period of time, then the document would be destroyed using a paper shredder. Again, a lot of the information that I found was pretty consistent across the board. One thing that was extremely consistent was the fact of creating community, building rapport, and different ways that teachers as well as administration can go about building that rapport, sponsoring lunch, making copies for your mentee, really having like an open door policy that the new teacher can come in and share or observe in your classroom and discuss the different things that are going on. These relationships can be built inside and outside of the classroom. You all can invite each other over to, your children's birthday parties, or just meet after work for coffee. Or I know some of my coworkers, they exercise together. So, there are a plethora of ways that building rapport and a sense of community can transpire. And so then the next focal point of my paper was to also have a good mentorship program, and not just being a program that's on paper, but an active program where the teacher mentor meets with the mentee and observes in the classroom, and also goes over feedback and allowing that mentor to ask questions freely without feeling like they're going to be, jumped on because of certain questions that they have. So having a quality mentor to help from preparing lessons to dealing with classroom management, organization, all those types of things is important. And